So we are looking at school of thoughts in psychology, functionalism school of thought, which began as a reaction to structuralism. Already we've talked about structuralism. So as a reaction, it was a rebut to the concept of structuralism. And then the main proponent is William James, but there are other people who are also considered here. Example is John Dewey. We consider John Dewey here, Roland, and other people, we consider them here. Yes. Now, this broadened psychology. Now, this school of thought, you see already when we were talking about structuralism, we said that structuralism couldn't use introspection to study animal behavior, right? Or the animal mind. In that same way, religious experiences and other abnormal behavior wasn't really explained with structuralism. But William James' theory or school of thought, which is structuralism, was able to do that because for them, they believe that we, instead of investigating into the structure or the building block of consciousness or of conscious experience, we should rather look at why we have that conscious experience, what the conscious experience was doing. And so functionalism was actually looking at function, while structuralism was looking at the structure of consciousness. You get it? So that is the reason why we say functionalism. So functionalism was investigating the purpose of consciousness. So James argued that structuralist approach missed the real deal of the nature of conscious experience or the purpose of consciousness. Yes, because he said that we have something called the continuous flow of thoughts. Okay, yes, so you have your conscience or your conscious experience flowing in continuum. And then structuralism was actually pinpointing the subsets on the continuum, you understand? So you have a straight line or yes, a propagating line that is going to the end. And structuralism was actually targeting specific points on the line. Meanwhile, you have to look at why it is going that way. That was James' idea, okay? So that was the school of thought. So in analyzing consciousness into its elements, the structuralists were looking at static points. That was his argument. He said that the structuralists were looking at static points in that flow or the stream of thoughts. Okay, so that is what we have here, the continuous flow of thoughts or the stream of consciousness. And then to him, there was no need why you should look at the basic elements, but rather study the function of why we have something like that happening. You have some conscious experience. So functionalists were more interested in how people adapt their behavior to the demands of the real world around them. Even though this is not so absolute, that was why this school couldn't also stand the test of time. But we was looking at adaptation. Their focus was adaptation, human behavior. So to him, maladaptiveness was better explained because if we can cope with daily activities, why are we coping with daily activities? And then functionalism, the function will actually explain. Okay, so it made more sense at the time, and that was why it was able to eliminate or to overshadow structuralism at the time, even though there were many debates about structuralism and functionalism. This was one of the reasons why functionalism stayed and then overpowered structuralism. So instead of focusing on sensation and perception, the functionalists began to investigate mental testing, okay, patterns of development in children, the effectiveness of educational practices, and behavioral differences between sex. So with this, because of how they wanted to go about their work, they were not really interested in labs. So this psychology wasn't a lab psychology, okay? Unlike Edward Titchener's psychology or Wilhelm von psychology, which is the structuralism, which was based in a lab, where you'd have to teach people how to behave so that you can measure. But here, there was nothing like that. And so I think this was more resounding at the time, and that was why it stayed. Yes, so thank you very much for making it, and thank you very much for watching our videos. Kindly subscribe. You can hit the like button to support us, and don't forget to tell other people about StudyBook. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.